Atitirshatham Tamondam Samsarinam Karunaya Purana Guhyam Tam Vyasa Sunam Payami Gurum Munina. Yaha, he who Svanabhavam, self-assimilated, experienced, Akila, all around, Shruti, the Vedas, Saram, Kriyam, Ekam, the only one, Adhyatma, transcendental, Deepam, torchlight, Atitirsatham, desiring to overcome, Tamahandam, deeply dark material existence, Samsarinam, of the materialistic man, Karunaya, out of causeless mercy, Aha, said, Purana, supplement to the Vedas, Guhyam, very confidential, Tam, unto him, Vyasa Sunam, the son of Vyasadeva, Upayami, let me offer my obeisances, Guru, the spiritual master, Munina, of the great sages. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Translation: let me offer my respectful obeisances unto him, Shuka, the spiritual master of all sages, the son of Vyasadeva, who out of his great compassion for those gross materialists who struggle to cross over the darkest region of material existence, spoke this most confidential supplement to the cream of Vedic knowledge after having personally assimilated it by experience. So we will study this purport, it's very nice purport. Om-Jnana-Timirandashnananjanavashalakya Chakshurunmilitam-yena Tasmai Shri-Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya-Manavishtam Sthapitam Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swavarantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapadakam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sadhana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parikara Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sadhana Lalita Shri Vishakam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatadeshatavini Vanchakalpatarubhishya Kripa Sindhubhya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namah He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, in response to the questions asked by the sages, so Sutta Goswami is speaking, and when he starts to speak, he is offering Mangalacharan. So, Mangalacharan consists of offering respects to all his worshipable personalities, by whose mercy he is enlightened. So, the knowledge of Krishna consciousness actually comes down in Parampara, So original knowledge is given by Krishna himself, and so that is coming down in the parampara. And one should worship, this lineage, and that is how he is able to get this knowledge. So when this any blockage in this parampara, our knowledge will get switched off. So we will not be able to gain the knowledge. So like it is not that something that we know today. So that means it is my property. It is that is being gifted to us, and at any moment, it can actually be lost. So we have to preserve that as a great treasure. And also we see, it is for us, it is coming down in the form of purports by Srila Prabhupada, and we should study them very, very nicely, because this is a devotional service. This is devotional service of Shravanam and Kirtanam. So when we study these purports very nicely, so we also engage in one of the angas of devotional service, primary angas of devotional service of Shravanam and Kirtanam. And apart from that, we also understand the nuances of how to perform rest of the items and things like that. So here we see that Sutta Goswami is offering obeisances to Shukadev Goswami. He is appreciating him as the spiritual master of all the sages. He is best amongst all the sages. And then he is son of Vyasadeva. And nice activity of the spiritual master has been described. If you see all the pranam mantras of all the acharyas, so you will find some qualities and some specific actions that they had performed. So if you see like Jagannath Das Prabhuji Maharaj, like Gaur Adar Bhava Bhumestam Nirdeshta Sajjanapri. So like you found the place of Lord Chaitanya's appearance. So like that. So here what did Shukadeva Goswami did? So out of great compassion for those gross materialists who struggle to cross over the darkest region of material existence, spoke this most confidential supplement to the theme of Vedic knowledge. What is the theme of Vedic knowledge? Vedanta Sutra. And for that, the commentary was given in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. And after having personally assimilated it by experience. Okay, so purport. In this prayer, Srila Sutta Goswami practically summarizes the complete introduction of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the natural supplementary commentary on the Vedanta Sutras. The Vedanta Sutra or the Brahma Sutras were compiled by Vyasadeva with a view to present just the cream of Vedic knowledge. Srimad Bhagavatam is the natural commentary on this cream. Srila Sukadeva Goswami was thoroughly realized master on the Vedanta Sutra, and consequently he also personally realized the commentary, Srimad Bhagavatam. And just to show his boundless mercy upon bewildered materialistic men who want to cross completely over nations, he recited for the first time this confidential knowledge. So this is, we all know, like the previous text, we studied that Shukadeva Goswami was completely renounced, and he left the home without even the Purascharya, or without even the basic purificatory processes, after birth. So Janmana Jayate Shudra Samskara Bhaved Vijay. So like especially the people who are Brahmana, Kshatriya and Vaishya, the three higher classes. So they actually go through this purificatory process. And so amongst them, the best of them, all of them who go through the purificatory processes, so they are called Vijay. And the best amongst them is called Vijay Shrestha or Brahmana. So Brahmana class is called as Vijay Shrestha. And it is very, very essential. No one has to go through the purificatory processes. And what is the purpose of all this purificatory process? So, these samskaras make a person eligible to practice the Varnashrama Dharma. So that is this one. So recently we came across, yesterday in Bhakti Shastri also we came across this one purport by Prabhupada. So where he is mentioning that if women are polluted, so then bad children will come about, and that will create chaos. And then if proper samskaras are followed and proper children are born, and with them, with such qualified children, we can actually introduce varnashram, or we can varnashram can be practiced. And then elsewhere, we were studying in the seventh canto, so where Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that there are 30 common duties are there, which has to be practiced by all human beings. So which is more like, in summary, like four regulative principles and now with the bhakti. So it comes to somewhat to that kind of a this one. So if that is properly practiced, amongst such qualified people, so varnashram can be introduced. And in fact, I'm not able to remember the exact words. So if these things are not properly practiced, so then the rules and regulations of varnashram will seem to be very, very suffocating. Very like curtailing one's this one. Why so much of restriction? This is all impractical. So why not just we'll chant and we'll not have anything to do with these rules and regulations. So that kind of repulsion will come. So when these basic things, the basic civilized qualities are not practiced. So here we see that Shukadev Goswami, he is already a graduate. So he doesn't need to get admission in LKG, UKG, and things like that. He's already a graduate. So, and his father is worried that uska LKG mein admission nahi hua. So like, but then, so he was like, the purpose of Varnashrama school is that one is attached to the body, and to purify the attachment to the body, so one has to practice Varnashram. And the graduation point of that school is one become completely detached from body. So then he can give up that school. School is meant for a certain purpose. You go to the school, you get educated, and you get graduated also. So in the Varnashram, it's like that. So you get entered into it. So and you practice that. And if you are not completely detached from your body, okay, next life again, you practice, next life again you practice. And then at some point in time, so when you develop sufficient detachment from body, so then you are allowed to graduate out of Varnashram. So, and here Shukadev Goswami, here even though he is just born, but he is already in the position of graduate level. His Jnana Vairagya is very, very high. Already is in the graduate level. So he doesn't need to go through these basic purificatory ceremonies. And he has, it is also mentioned here that in fact he was in the position of Brahman realization. And when he was attracted, his father actually spoke, his father actually sent some of his disciples where they recited some shlokas of Srimad Bhagavatam. And then, Shukadeva Goswami was quite astonished that I am not supposed to get attracted to anything. So I am supposed to be Brahman realized. Matlab no soshati na kamshati, right? So no lamentation, no hankering, basically no attraction to anything in this material world. So but some sound vibration seems to be like very, very attractive. So what is this composed of? So then this particular thing that comes, which Shankara Mahaprabhu gives many examples. Atmaramascha manayo nirgamta vyurukramo kurvanti haitukim bhakti nittam bhuta gunohari. So this, the subject matters of Krishna, so that can attract even Atmaramas. That can attract even the people who are taking pleasure in one's own self. They don't take pleasure in anything else apart from one's own self. So even to them, so the topics about Krishna is very, very appealing and very much attractive. In fact, in the before starting of 10th canto, so this one is given it is Srimad Bhagavatam is all attractive to everybody. What is the shloka? So it is for transcendentalists, Bhavoshadi, that thing comes, Bhavoshadi. Nivrita Darshay Rupagiyamana, Bhavoshadi Shrota Manobirama, Kauttama Shloka Gunanuvada, Puman Virajeta, Vina Prashitna. So it says that for Nivrita Darshay, so like for people who have completely got detached from material things and they are very much advanced in Krishna consciousness, so they relish Srimad Bhagavatam. And Bhava Aushadhi, the people who are conditioned the material existence, but they want to get out of this material existence. For them, this is a very good medicine. So they have not awakened their attraction towards Krishna, but they are desiring to awaken their attraction towards Krishna. For such people, it is Bhava Aushadhi. And then, it is also for some people, who are not envious of the Lord, but they are materialists. So they are not in any way desiring to make spiritual progress and things like that. So for them, it looks like nice manoranjan. And but in that way, everybody will be attracted to Srimad Bhagavatam. So only one person cannot get attracted to Srimad Bhagavatam. So who is Pashupna? So that means who is grossly sinful and offensive, he will have repulsion towards this glories of the Supreme Lord. So apart from that, everybody will get attracted. And so especially those people who are very advanced in Krishna consciousness, so they will become very, very attracted. For them it is life and soul. So because they understand that they are part and parcel of Krishna, they understand that their comfortable and original position is to be engaged in the service of Krishna. And Srimad Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna. So so it is the form of Krishna. So in that way, they become very, very attached to this literature. So here we see in the case of Shukadeva Goswami, so he realized the Vedanta Sutra, the sum and substance of all the Vedas. And then he realized also, he studied and realized also the commentary of Srimad Bhagavatam. In fact, this question will be asked that why did such a person who has already means already reached graduation, so somebody who has already reached graduation and then he enrolls into a very, very tedious study process again. So why will he do? He's passed all degrees. So why will he take up another very serious study? So Srimad Bhagavatam is such an elaborate literature, and why did Shukadeva Goswami commit to such an elaborate study? So that is when this one of Atmaramascha Munayo and all these things comes actually. So it's very, very relishable for even great personalities. So in that way, Shukadeva Goswami actually, even though he is the great learned person, in terms of advancement, but still he has studied and realized, both Vedanta Sutras and the natural commentary on the Vedanta Sutra, that is Srimad Bhagavatam. So, and here it is mentioned just to show the boundless mercy, upon the bewildered materialistic men who want to cross completely over the nations. He recited for the first time this confidential knowledge. So this is very, very nice that in this world we see that mercy or compassion means that people, especially the beggars, they in South India, they tell a dialogue, so they tell that, please do some dharma, so please do some dharma. Dharma means you have to give some donation or some paisa. So this is you see that some kind of a mercy or compassion and things like that is evaluated based on some tangible help, so that tangible help. You help me with some money or help me with some tools or some things like that and all. So, but it is very, very nice that Shukadeva Goswami, he studied with his father, so that was very, very private school. And then later on, he went and spoke to Parikshit Maharaj. So it was not broadcasted very heavily and things like that, record karke YouTube mein dala and things like that and all. So it is just that it was very, very solid knowledge of Krishna consciousness that is spoken, amongst guru and disciple, and many people heard it and they liked it, and then they felt very very uplifting, and they recorded, and then it got propagated. So now you see, like, one pure message of Krishna consciousness, when it is recited, so it has such a powerful, very very powerful impact. So in this way, we see that the mercy, this aspect of mercy is very nicely put, even in the six Goswamis, the Shad Goswami Ashtakam also. So it is mentioned about like how, so they Papo Tap Anukantano Tanakritam Govinda Dana Mrite. So how did they save the people, sinful people who are suffering in this, suffering the tapa of this material existence? So how did they relieve them from their, suffering of sinful reactions? By Govinda Dhanamrita. So like by speaking about Govinda, by describing the glories of the Supreme Lord, one can actually show the highest mercy, to the people in general. And we don't know Govinda. In fact, like we try to glorify Govinda, and meanwhile, like we go to sleep, like chanting a time. So that is why it is very important that the pure glorification that is done by the great acharyas in the form of commentaries and in the form of the great literatures. So we should try to distribute, this literatures to people in general. So that is when, people's this papa tapa, will get relieved. And even when Krishna also comes, he also mentions that he comes to relieve the burden of the earth. So by the way of giving the knowledge, of this Krishna consciousness. So this knowledge of Krishna consciousness, or glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, when it is done in a pure form, it is the greatest mercy, upon the people of this world. So they can cross over this material existence, through the help of this confidential knowledge. Okay, so there is no point in arguing that a materialistic man can be happy. No materialistic creature, be he the great Brahma or an insignificant ant, can be happy. So everyone tries to make a permanent plan for happiness, but everyone is baffled by the laws of material nature. Therefore, materialistic man is called Therefore, the materialistic world is called the darkest region of God's creation. So how can we say like every materialist is sad only, or not happy? So in fact, one devotee, like he was having a little bit of trouble and things like that, and he went out for book distribution, and he was telling like, take this book, you'll become happy, and then the person, like, he told like, maybe you are very depressed, like, so like, what is it? He could sense that he is not, the devotee himself is not happy. And so bichara pehle like, tum happy ho baad mein, like that. So it is, and then sometimes people very boldly like respond saying that like, why do you think I'm not happy? So why do you think I'm sad or something like that? So like, how can we say that all the materialistic people, this is a very, very profound statement Srila Prabhupada is making. There is no point in arguing that a materialistic man can be happy. So the happiness experienced in the material world is, how are they described? What are the analogies that are used to describe that?
Relief from
temporary relief from, or temporary gap between two miseries. So that is mentioned. And then what else? Little drop of honey. So like the person who's trying to get some honey, and in the forest, like he's chased by tiger, and then snakes are there, and many different this ones are there. And so they are considered to be like birth, death, old age and disease, and day and night, and so many different things that are actually stealing away the vital energy of the living entity, pushing him to the point of death. And in between, he is getting some little bit of happiness by the way of sense gratification. And it has been mentioned, this point of sense gratification is nicely mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. So this is a happiness. Definitely it is a happiness, because it gratifies the senses. No, so anything that gratifies, no, like any portion of a person, so then that gives some pleasure. So gratification of the senses definitely produces pleasure, but the quality of that pleasure is no adyantavanta konteya. So it has a beginning and it has an end. So like if a jobless person gets a job, maybe of like little bit of salary like 20,000, 30,000 or something like that. So he become very happy. So can we say that this is an act that produces happiness? So then another person who got 1 lakh salary, suddenly his salary become 30,000. So like, so the very same act, for one person it created happiness, another person it's like deep distress actually. So like, so after such an act happens, like he tells that मुझे job ही नहीं चाहिए, छोड़ो इतना सस्ता वाला जॉब कौन करेगा? वॉचमैन भी मेरे से ज्यादा कमाता है. Actually, it happened. One of our boys, he got a job and then he rejected and came because like उसका salary वॉचमैन से भी lower था. So like, and he got angry and then he told, I don't want this job. So anyways, like the act itself is not happy. It is a comparative sense. There is a comparative sense that it just gives that you wanted this and you got it. So because you wanted it and you got it, so that creates a kind of happiness in the mind. So when anything you desire and that desire gets fulfilled, so there is a sense of happiness that is produced. But if it is a real sense of happiness, then it will last. If it is not a real sense of happiness, it will not last. So it will only be there for some time. So because it has a beginning and it has an end. So like in the Bhakti Shastri session we were discussing in one of, not here I suppose, in somewhere else. So there is a logical statement that is there. It has been analyzed that if there is some manufacture date for a product, it must also have an expiry date. If something has an expiry date, it must have a manufacture date. So if the happiness is produced at some point in time, so then it has to end also at some point in time. So then spiritual happiness is also produced at some point in time. You are not happy now, and then after you like chant very nicely, you become happy. So then it also should end.
It is not in the contact with the senses.
Right. Logic, what we are discussing now, if something has a beginning, it should also have an end. In the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, this logic is put that like that which has a beginning will have an end also. For the body, it is mentioned, and that which has a end will have a beginning also. But soul doesn't have neither beginning nor end. So then, even spiritual happiness is also adhyantavanta.
It's eternally situated in the heart.
So like the soul itself is Sat, Chit and Ananda. So only that you are uncovering, that particular this one. So that is not been, that has been obstructed. So when we are trying to find the real spiritual happiness, so it is not that like, we are trying to find some, foreign substance. It is something very, very innate. Srila Prabhupada even says that the bhakti, in the Nectar of Devotion, the introduction or prefacement, he mentions this. So like, you can, there is something that is very innate in you, so you can train and bring it out. So just like a child can be trained for walking, because the walking capacity is there in the child. So then you cannot say that bhakti is superimposition upon the living entity. So if that is the case, then if walking is superimposed on the child, so okay, you now give training to the child to fly. Let us see the child flies. So ऐसा नहीं कि like कुछ भी training देके कुछ भी बना सकता है. It is not that. It has to be there within. So then it can be trained and brought out. So in that way, the happiness of Krishna consciousness is there. Nitya Siddha Krishna Bhakti Sadhya Kamanai Shavanadi Shuddha Chitta Karayoday. So that kind of a happiness is permanent, and so materialistic man may be happy, and maybe a devotee like who's little down in his Krishna consciousness, when he sees the materialistic man, he should not think that these people are happy and I am only sad. So like this is they have they are miserable. So only difference between a sadhaka and a materialist outside is that materialist thinks that somehow or other he can become happy, and the sadhaka knows that I cannot become happy by materialistic process. That's the only difference. No, both of them have not advanced. So when they advance and when they actually come to the platform of like this advancement, also we were analyzing. So various different, generally like we find that Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, this is a very easy ladder that we actually talk about. So then we were trying to analyze the knowledge, some steps before acquiring this knowledge. So then we kind of logically came to one conclusion that seeing matter and trying to enjoy matter is a very, very gross level of this one. And then seeing matter and acknowledging that matter belongs to Krishna and it should be utilized in Krishna's service. So then some amount of realization has come. And then being able to see the spirit and being able to see the Supreme Spirit, Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan and things like that. So at least we can actually come to the point of like seeing the matter and understanding it belongs to Krishna. So even if you want to refine it further more, so then we can say that seeing matter and then like utilizing it, utilizing it according to the instructions of the Supreme Lord, following the karma dharma, so like following varnashrama dharma. So that is a way of utilizing Krishna's matter, if at all one wants for his own sense gratification, he has to use it in the way that varnashrama dharma actually guides. So if attraction towards the rules and regulations for varnashrama dharma comes, that itself is considered to be a good amount of like advancement. It's not that it is much better than people who are thinking that anyway this matter is there and let me use it for sense gratification. Why to follow any rules and regulations? मैंने कमाया, मेहनत करके काम किया, मैंने कमाया, कैसे भी चाहिए मैं use करूँगा. So it's not like that. So even for usage of every material element, there is rules and regulations governing that. So I will follow those rules and regulations, and he feels a natural attraction towards the rules and regulations of varnashrama dharma. So then he is making progress in Krishna consciousness. And then after following the rules and regulations of varnashrama dharma, he is not interested in the fruits of those activities. So then he comes to the nishkama platform. So then he is making still further more advancement actually. And then he comes to the point of like even getting attracted in the platform of soul, and then getting attracted in the platform of Paramatma and Bhagavan. So like this is how the advancement actually goes. So now we see that happiness, the real happiness, is at the stage of Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. So anything below that, one may feel happy, but then those happinesses are not permanent. So they will have a beginning and they will have an end. And it is very, very sure. Such kind of a happiness is called as not a happiness. So this is, one nice analogy is given. In the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, body is called as non-existent and soul is called as existent. What is that sloka? So can you find just quickly? So how can you call the body as non-existent? Existing, no? Body is existing.
Actually, it is temporary.
Huh? It is temporary, we can tell. But how can Krishna tell that body is non-existent? Of the non-existent, there is no endurance. And of the existent, so there is no deterioration. No?
It won't be with us permanently.
So can you call non-existent? So how can you call something as non-existent? So I tell that this kartal doesn't exist. Why? Because it is just there, like after some time it will again disintegrate into earth, water, fire, air, ether and things like that. So, but it is existing, no? I am able to touch, feel, I am able to use. Like Mayavadis tell that no, nothing exists. At least like how can Vaishnavas tell that no, this is not existing? And how can Krishna tell this body doesn't exist? There must be some logic behind it. Huh? So, if you see like this example of whom do you call as Dhanavan? Dhanavan, who has money. So like beggar, throughout the day he's keeping money in his hand and like no, he's like what is it? Coins are always there in his hand. But we don't call him as Dhanavan. Oh, we call him as Bhikari only. So just because having some money in hand, he cannot be called as the possessor of money. No. So this is one. This one, like when you have, it is also mentioned. Like there is one thing is there. Like if a lady has only one child, she is also called as barren lady. No, she almost doesn't have a child at all. No, that is also considered to be barren lady. So this is all like Vedic usages. This is all standard Vedic usages are there. So in the same way, this body is also very temporary. No, compared to the eternal existence of time. Such a very short-lived, kind of an entity. Sometimes it is called as non-existent also. No, so this is a usage. What is it?
Nasato vidyate bhavo.
Nasato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sa.
Ubayorapi drishtontas tva anayas tattvadarshvi.
So tattvadarshvis, the great learned scholars or great means those who know the tattva, those who have understood Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, or those who have understood absolute truth, or those who have had the darshan of absolute truth, so they actually tell that this body is non-existent. So in the same way, we also tell that happiness experienced by materialistic people is non-existent. It does happiness, like he is undergoing. And it is as good as not undergoing, not having only. So this is all the logical way of putting it, actually. There is no point in arguing that a materialistic man can be happy. So he is not happy. So then even if he tells like, no, I am happy, it's not happiness, happy, do you know like what is happiness? So like if a person actually comes to, this also brings us to the point of like one more important thing which devotees take it very casually. Probably like this one, sense gratification, attraction to sense gratification is very, very detrimental. Once if I cross this, everything is finished. Like, I'll be very, very happily I'll go through. So, do you think that level 2, level 3 and all will be much simpler than level 1? So, crossing sense gratification is the level 1. Do you think the further levels will be much simpler than this? No, the attraction towards Brahmajyoti, Brahman. Now, if you ask anybody like, do you, what is your opinion about Brahman realization and things like that? It's all bakwas, like, samjha like gaali diya usko. So like, kaun jayega udhar? Are like, tum udhar pahunch ke dekho, like, tab pata chalega. What is the meaning of happiness? You would have, you would have never experienced such a kind of happiness. So you will completely get bowled over. The experience that you get at the level of Brahmajyoti is super amazing. And a person, like, if he actually gets the experience of Brahmajyoti, he will tell that like sense gratification sab kuch nahi hai, like this sab chhod lo. And so like he will be like very, very greatly attracted. That's a very great danger. Like devotees should not take it very lightly. Like why it is mentioned Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakali Ashanta, Krishna Bhakta Nishtha Matev Shanta. This only problem is Bhukti, only problem is sense gratification. Mukti and Siddhi, like anyway, I don't have attraction. You don't have attraction now, but later on, when you cross that stage, you'll understand. Abhi tak like, tumko, like, ye nahi hai, what is it? Qualification nahi hai ki wo usko experience karne ka bhi. It is just like that. Hare Krishna. So let's welcome his guest, Harikshetra Prabhuji. Chanting Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Hare. So, yeah, so like this is the standard example that all of us would have studied in our lower standards. That there was a fox who was trying to get some grapes which was not reachable. And then what did he tell about the grapes? These are all SARS. The same thing, like, he's not able to reach the Brahman realization. Hey, to bakwas hai, जब मिलेगा ना तब पता चलेगा, like, you know, it is how difficult it is to cross. It's very, very difficult to cross, no? So he will say like that, ki, yes, I understand I am part and parcel of Krishna, yes, I understand like this super amazing happiness that I will get, like, if I go back to Godhead. But this happiness itself is like so nice, you know, why will I go there? So like, maybe like, no, thoda main enjoy kar leta hu usko, uske baad dekhte hain. So like, he'll become very, very satisfied, deeply satisfied, you know, in experience of Brahman. So it is, so one has a taste for, that is why it is very, very important that one develop taste in, you know, rendering devotional service to Krishna, so that when he gets other things, you know, so he can overcome that, you know, he can overcome that. So, you know, happiness here, it is, you know, it is very, very temporary, and then, you know, like we have sufficient conviction that even though we see people enjoying happiness in this material world, so we can understand that this is, you know, they are not actually enjoying, because the quantum of happiness that they are enjoying is very, very feeble, you know, in comparison to the actual happiness, you know, which exists. And many other examples are given. So the example of scratching the itch, and the example of camel eating the cactus. So it is actually miserable existence. You know, like sense gratification actually is miserable existence. So, but it appears to be happiness. We think, no, it is a misery thought about as happiness. The real happiness starts from Brahman realization. You know, so from there the real happiness starts. Actually, it is happiness. It is not that out of illusion you are thinking it is happy. No, actually it is happiness. No. So, like right now, in the material sense gratification is, the proper example is that, like, no, it is just the feeling of happiness. It's just an illusion of happiness, but actually you are going through a miserable existence, right? So, like a prisoner who's dunked into the water and then he's taken out. Like, no, he feels so nice. No, he feels happy that, you know. So, but then his hair is still in the hand, and, you know, probably like for some more time you allow him to be there in the same situation. Like, you know, thoda sa sir mein dard hai, isko bhi thoda release kar do, and things like that. So material happiness is like that. No, happiness achieved in the sense gratification is like that. So everyone tries to make a permanent plan for happiness, but everyone is baffled by the laws of material nature. Therefore, materialistic world is called the darkest region of God's creation. Yet unhappy materialists can get out of it simply by desiring to get out of it. So, like, what it takes to get out of this material existence? No, simply by desiring. So, what does it mean? So, अब तक like हम desire नहीं किए. So, like, then no, one may say like, no, I'm praying to the Lord that, no, please cross me over this material existence and things like that. So, desire means what? I want to get out of this material existence, and I don't want any other compromise. No, so like, so but then like, no, थोड़ा सा आज के मेनू में थोड़ा गुलाब जामुन है, उसको थोड़ा काके उसके बाद जाऊंगा. Things like that. No question, like, you know. So when you want to go back to Godhead, so like, no, I want to go back to Godhead now. No, गुलाब जामुन दो, करोड़पति बनाओ, like, no, पूरा दुनिया मेरे हाथ में दो, कुछ भी ज़्यादा like मुझे नहीं चाहिए. Now I want to go back to Godhead. So that is the situation. So it is called you have desire to go back to Godhead. So no, it is like a little bit of better material situation. We will postpone our plan. Ki like, I want to go back to Godhead. ऐसा नहीं बोल रहा कि like मैं नहीं जाना चाहता हूँ. So but no, थोड़ा अच्छा एक मौका मिला है, like no, उसके बाद मैं जाऊँगा. So like even to join ashram, like no, people delay and things like that. No, what to speak of going back to Godhead. So it is so it is like no, it is very far. So actually, if we have desire to go back to Godhead, so immediately we can actually go back to Godhead. So unfortunately, they are so foolish that they do not want to escape. Therefore, they are compared to that camel who relishes the thorny twigs because he likes the taste of the twigs mixed with blood. He does not realize that it is his own blood and that his tongue is being cut by the thorns. Similarly, the materialist, his own blood is as sweet as honey, and although he is always harassed by his own material creations, he does not wish to escape. Such materialists are called karmis. Out of hundreds of thousands of karmis, only a few may feel tired of material entanglement, desire to get out of the, how do you pronounce this word?
Weed.
Huh?
Weed.
What is the meaning of this word? Labyrinth. So this is like the karmis means, they technically speaking, like in the Vedic system, the karmis means those who follow the varnashrama dharma very nicely, but for the sake of getting material benefits. Right? So such people are called karmis, and so many hundreds and thousands of karmis. Only a very few may feel tired of material engagement and desire to get out of this. So like they may look towards how to get out of this material existence. What is the meaning of this word?
Something like maze or
Hmm?
some maze where one gets.
Okay. Some puzzle, like he's trying to get out of this. Okay, so such intelligent person are called jnanis. So they are called jnanis. So from Bhagavad Gita we understand Nishkama Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga both produce the same result, as they produce the jnana. So such intelligent persons are called jnanis. So the Vedanta Sutra is directed to such jnanis. But Srila Vyasadeva, being incarnation of the Supreme Lord, could foresee the misuse of the Vedanta Sutra by unscrupulous men. And therefore he personally supplemented the Vedanta Sutra with the Bhagavata Purana. So now we see that Vedanta Sutra is a summary of all the Vedic knowledge, and it gives very good good clarity about the Supreme Absolute Truth. The study or the subject matter that has been analyzed and that has been discussed in the whole of Vedic literatures is about the Absolute Truth. And so Vedanta Sutra gives very nice clarity about this Absolute Truth. But still, we see that many people misuse the Vedanta Sutra to bring about Mayavad conclusions. So bring about Mayavad conclusions. So that is why this Vyasadeva himself, he actually gave this supplementary commentary on the Vedanta Sutra, that is Bhagavata Purana. And this Bhagavata Purana is very difficult to establish Mayavad consistently through the Bhagavata Purana, because it is very explicit glorification of the Supreme Lord. Right? So it is clearly said in this Bhagavatam. Is the original commentary of the Brahma Sutras or the Vedanta Sutras. Srila Vyasadeva also instructed the Bhagavatam to his own son, Srila Shukadeva Goswami, who was already at the liberated stage of transcendence. So now we find that how can we say Bhagavatam is superior to, or the Bhakti is superior to the Jnana and other things. Generally the impersonalist argue that Bhakti is lower. Bhakti is meant for lower class of people, and then whereas the Jnana is meant for high class of people, high class of transcendentalists. So the result of Jnana is Brahman realization, and Bhakti involves rendering practical service unto the Supreme Lord, like Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam and things like that. So now this Bhagavatam is considered to be a literature on Bhakti. That is an indisputable this one. So Bhagavatam is considered to be literature on Bhakti. And who was the student of Bhagavatam? Who was already graduated out of Jnana school. Means he was in the Brahman realized state. And he was made as a student of Bhakti. So this shows that Bhakti is higher than the Jnana school. Right? So just because the Bhakti, anyone can actually practice Bhakti. So it doesn't mean that Bhakti is lower than the other parts of yoga practice. So Srila Vyasadeva also instructed Bhagavatam to his own son Shukadeva Goswami, who was already in the liberated stage of transcendence. Srila Shukadeva Goswami realized it personally and then explained it. By the mercy of Srila Shukadeva, the Bhagavata Vedanta Sutra is available for all those sincere souls who want to get out of material existence. So this is, Srila Prabhupada is giving a new terminology. It is called Bhagavata Vedanta Sutra. So like the Srimad Bhagavatam, because it is a commentary on Vedanta Sutra. Srimad Bhagavatam is the one unrivaled commentary on Vedanta Sutra. Sripad Sankaracharya intentionally did not touch it because he knew the natural commentary would be difficult for him to surpass. He wrote his Shariraka Bhashya, and his so-called followers deprecated the Bhagavatam as some new presentation. So like in the first canto, first shloka, first chapter, first shloka, Srila Prabhupada actually deals with this that this Bhagavatam is not written by Vyasadeva. There is a proposition that Bhagavatam is not written by Vyasadeva. So Vyasadev's final summit of all the this one is Vedanta Sutra itself. So nothing beyond Vedanta Sutra is there. So that's the heights of all the literature that has been there. So, but then we see that here Prabhupada is bringing about that topic again. So one should not be misled by such propaganda directed against the Bhagavatam by the Mayavad school. For this introductory shloka, the beginning student should from this introductory shloka, the beginning student should know that Srimad Bhagavatam is the only transcendental literature meant for those who are Paramahamsas and completely free from the material disease called malice. So what is Paramo Nirmatsaranam Sadam, right? So from there we can understand that this book is not for some Amadis, it is for Paramahamsas. So the Mayavadis are envious of the personality of Godhead despite Sripad Sankaracharya's admission that Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is above material creation. So there is sufficient evidence from Shankaracharya's literatures itself that how, from the Bhaja Govindam and then, some devotees also cite another, composition by Shankaracharya called Narshima Karavalam Stotra and, few other things. And also, Prabhupada often quotes about this, this one that Narayana Paravyaktha and things like that. So Narayana is beyond this material creation or beyond this non-manifest things and things like that. So in this way, Narayana, Narayana means one of the things of Mayavad Tristvanas that anything that has an attribute, it must be material. If it has a form, it must be material. If it has a color, it must be material. And Narayana has a form, Narayana has color, Narayana has attributes. So, and Shankaracharya actually puts Narayana's beyond the material matter. So that means what? It is spirit, it is absolute truth. So there is only one thing that exists, so that is the supreme absolute truth. So he has sufficient indications about the supreme personality of Godhead and about the proper path of Krishna consciousness. So, but then he spent a lot of time, analyzing the things on the Mayavad conclusions. So, in order to just mislead the people, so the envious Mayavadis cannot have access to Bhagavatam, but those who are really anxious to get out of this material existence may take shelter of this Bhagavatam because it is uttered by the liberated Srila Shukadeva Goswami. It is the transcendental torchlight by which one can see perfectly the transcendental absolute truth realized as Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. So with this we pause. Any questions, comments we can take. Yes, ma'am.
Harikshetra Prabhuji. So you said that we give this argument to Gandhi that even Shukadeva Goswami was a graduate of Gnani institution. Then he took history course. But what is the foundation of Gnani says that they stay with their argument?
What is it?
What is the foundation argument of Gnani says that they get counted?
So Jnanis, they put bhakti as lower because Shravanam, Kirtanam and all these things are seems to be very, anybody can perform, basically, anybody can perform. And then the qualification of those people who are performing, those things are of much lower in this one. So Jnana Sadhana, they consider it to be it is very tedious, basically. It is very tedious. So, in fact, Krishna also puts that in the 12th chapter as Kleshodikattaraste Shama Vyaktasha Chetasa. So it's very tedious and they are trying to understand the Brahman through that path. And it also takes a lot of time. So when you tell that just by chanting the names of Lord, you will be able to get the transcendental realization. And that also in one lifetime you are making perfection and things like that and all. They'll go crazy hearing all these things, So they will not be able to understand these aspects and all these things. So it also requires one to make a sufficient advancement in the path of bhakti in order to appreciate the items of bhakti. Otherwise, bhakti has to be performed even by the karma yogis, even by jnana yogis. Everybody perform bhakti. Even the jnana, the people who follow jnana. So if you go to their ashramas, they will also do Govinda bhajan. They will also do some Harikirtana and things like that and all. So those things and all they will do. So it is not that they will not tell that we will not do these aspects of bhakti. That is Vedic dharma we will do. So, but this is all very preliminary things. On top of bhakti, you have to do something what is it? You have to do something. some मेहनत वाला काम करना पड़ेगा तभी तुमको मिलेगा. No, ऐसे इतना आसानी से नहीं मिलेगा तुमको. So like that. So that is their thing. They will not say that we should not do bhakti. They'll say that that's not sufficient. You will have to do jnana also. That's when you will be able to get that. Yes.
So I wanted to ask, so the Mayavadis, how do they consider the matter? So do they consider Brahman as only spirit?
Yes.
So then what tangible logic do they give for
Matter, it doesn't exist. This karsal doesn't exist. Out of illusion, you think it is existing. Illusion is gone, then you will not see anything. You will just see that you are Brahman and there is one Brahman is there and you are also the same Brahman.
But then how does matter come upon that question?
It's illusion, just illusion.
But that doesn't, because it's illogical from the point of view.
It is illogical. That is,
How does it come upon?
no, they have a very, very complex theories for that. Many complex theories they have to establish this thing. That what happened? So no, but this example that they give, that the rope, a person sees a rope and then he considers it to be like a snake. So there also it comes okay, so what about the rope? Does that exist? So he saw, there is something that is not existent, he's thinking that it is that. So, but for that also, there is a basic conception of rope, that exists, and who's seeing what? There is only one entity that exists. It cannot see anything else because nothing else exists apart from it. So, there are many, many complications are there in that logic. So, but when you hear them speak that logic, it will be very, very convincing. Because we don't have conviction in that. When we speak that, you don't get conviction. So that is why Mayavadi Bhashya Sunilo hai Sarvanash. So when we speak about Mayavad, so we speak about antivirus. When they speak about Mayavad, that is real virus. So antivirus will not act. So no, it will be beneficial only to us. Yes.
Harikshetra Prabhuji, thank you for the enlightening class. The 2 points which you mentioned regarding the happiness which is perceived in this life. One, you mentioned that it's small quantum, that's why it's told as non-existent. And second point, you were also telling that it's illusory. So I wish to have a differentiation between those, that the happiness is mere agitation of the senses or it's small quantum.
No, it is there is a definition of happiness that has been put forward. So if I feel that if I get so much of food, I'll be happy. So if I get that much of food, I'm happy. So then tomorrow, the very same quantum of food doesn't give me any more happiness. So now the definition of happiness is changed. So now I should get some class of food. So then I'll be happy. So then I am supplied with that. So then after some time, even if you supply that, it is no more the definition of happiness. I need something else, like that. So the definition of happiness keeps shifting. So when I create some definition of happiness in the mind, and then if that definition is met, I tell to myself, you are happy, and then I feel happy about that. So, but then it is not real happiness actually. If that is real happiness, then every time that scenario occurs, you should become happy, but you will not. So it is just that differential, like this one ki like abhi tak itna tha. So all of you who are working for software companies, like the managers will tell that ki like if you produce something very nice output, अच्छा है बेटा, like अच्छा किया. And tomorrow also you produce, अरे कल तो किया इतना, आज तो और तरह करना था तुमको. ऐसा कैसे, like वही मैनेजर उतना ही काम में satisfy नहीं होते. अभी उनका बार सेट हो गया. You have to jump above the bar, then only like you will become, the manager will become happy. And after some time, like if you from this bar you did this, he's happy. You did this, he's happy. And in this state, you become stagnated. He'll throw you out of the job. So like that is a cutthroat competition that is going on. So the material happiness, it goes through such kind of relativities a lot, and because of that, like it is just that make believe happiness. No, it is you are made to believe that it is happy. Like that.
One second question was also there. You were mentioning about this verse, Ahovirajyet Vina Pashugna, that a person who is, as the verse says, killer of animal, a killer of soul, he will not be able to relish the path.
Relish Bhagavatam, yes.
So, but we hear that as the movement, Harikrishna movement spread, so it was initially in those countries where people were accustomed to this life. On the other hand, we also observe that in India also, people might be there who are worshippers of Durga, but they slaughter animals and they are averse to the pastime. Whereas in the other case, they were also slaughtering animals, but they attracted. So how it happened?
Sin and offenses is this one. So they didn't have any conception of absolute truth. The Westerners, they didn't have any conception of absolute truth. And in the presence of a great acharya, like Srila Prabhupada, if you find now, if you ask the modern day ISKCON preachers about preaching in Bengal amongst like worshippers of Durga is difficult, or preaching in the West is difficult. So they will tell preaching in the West is difficult. So it is obvious, like preaching in the West is difficult. So this only shows the power of a great acharya. Like he could do such kind of a transformation. And so one aspect was like favorable aspects for Srila Prabhupada in the West is they did not know anything about absolute truth, or they did not know anything about Krishna, and they did not had any opportunity to like offend Krishna. So that is one very, very powerful thing. Non-offensive attitude is very important in order to make advancement. And so like they also had a craze that they have tried every possible permutation and combination of sense gratification, and they have got frustrated and they have become hippies. And something from the West, something from the East, that comes. So they find it like, recently I was reading Prabhupada's Leelamrita, and in that it is like when Prabhupada goes to this, I think, San Francisco. No, not in San Francisco, like even this, in the first location. Where is the first location? New York. So like there itself, like when Prabhupada was pushed out of his, this one, like that crazy guy,
David.
After Mishra, David. So David. So after that, like he was trying to find some place, and then he was in the David's place, basically in the David's place. So when he was there, so that time there is a like all this hippie group. They have a gathering place. And they call it as a spiritual gathering. And anything spiritual, seemingly spiritual that is happening in the in and around. So it becomes a news. And then the Swamiji is coming to this one, like Bauri has become a very big news actually. And then these people they start conversing. Somebody from the east has come. We should go out and check out what it is. And they went and they started this one. And what did they do? So they gave a humble oral reception to the transcendental message of Krishna. So that's a very powerful act of bhakti. And they were doing sin, not just animal eating. They were doing all possible regulative principles they were breaking. So, but when they were performing like these sins, sinful activities, so definitely that's a limitation for them to understand this one transcendental subject matter. But then they are also giving an oral reception, submissive oral reception to like this, transcendental sound vibration. And that made a lot of difference. No, that made a lot of difference. That gave them sufficient energy to push them out of these habits. In fact, like Gurujan Prabhu always remembers this thing that during Prabhupada's bubble, so so when people during that time they were drunk and they were addicted and things like that. And when they come inside the bubble of, around Srila Prabhupada, in the vicinity of Srila Prabhupada, and especially when he is performing Kirtan, so they could get the experience of Brahman, the experience of Brahman or Paramatma or something like that, or some divine experience, which could, which they were they were able to see that it's way beyond this material sense gratification. And they were inspired to print that pamphlet, stay high forever. These are very practical people, highly practical people. So they used to experiment with different drugs, and which drug is taking us to the heights. They were considering that to be spiritual experience and things like that. You cannot just simply fool them. Prabhupada could give that experience. Literally, Prabhupada could give that experience. And they were chapo bhai, itna acha mil gaya. Stay high forever. And if you analyze that pamphlet, these are, it was a very nice analysis. Last time when Bhakti Vikas Maharaj had come, he analyzed that pamphlet, one whole class he gave on that pamphlet. It is exactly the lines of Srimad Bhagavatam written in a way that little bit words that is relatable to these hippies. So that's how it is written. So they were very clear. It has to be, this is a transcendental sound vibration and it has to be presented as it is. So they would only make some change of words in order to, with same meaning, not distorting the meanings of the statements given by Srila Prabhupada, and in a way it is relatable to the hippies. So that's how they presented it, and it made revolution actually. So now we make we study Bhagavatam and then we understand something and then we cook up something and then we speak. So then it has some effect also reduces. So if we present the same message, if you think that okay, this is too philosophical in the wordings and grammar and things like that, okay, make it simplified, and but tell the same message, then you see the effect of this one, effect of that thing. So that's how Prabhupada actually made. One is because of his own personal advancement. He could give that experience, of higher spiritual experience. He could give them, and then also their act of sin. They did not have offense. Offense is there, then it is even more detrimental. So then, even if powerful message of Krishna consciousness is there, so it will have its repercussion. Means people will not be able to take it. Yes,
in purport, Prabhupada mentioned that no material creature from Brahma to end will be happy in this material world. So I just thought in Brahma will have birth and death, that's only unhappiness, but what else? Either we see we have so many things which makes us happy in this world. But whether Brahma will also be unhappy?
No, see, Brahma, whenever we take this one, we should not consider it literally. So in the this one, in the Vaishnava bhajans, we get a phrase called Bahirmukha Brahma. So what is this Bahirmukha Brahma?
Brahma who is not a devotee.
Brahma who is not a devotee. Antarmukha. Bahirmukha means Bahiranta Manina, so which comes in the this one also. So whenever we tell about this kind of a thing, the position of Brahma without Krishna consciousness, if we were to be given the position of we are the master of the entire material creation, whole universe is under your capacity, still you will not be happy. That's the implication that is actually put over there. So Brahma himself is a devotee. He is a transcendental personality. He is he experiences great levels of bliss in that sense. So, but there are there is a proposition that is taken. If somebody is there in the position of Brahma and he is not a devotee, so even if after getting the entire property of the entire universe, still he will not be happy. So that's the equation that is actually brought about.
when let's say an impersonalist says that everything is Brahman, so even to some extent we will also agree. Right?
Not some extent, we agree completely.
Like,
No, Sarvam Kala Vidam Brahma is a Vedic statement. Why will we not agree?
so like there's only one entity which exists, that is Krishna, and he only expands himself into his own
Energies.
expansion and energy. So it's only Krishna which is existing everywhere, nothing else.
Vasudeva Sarvamiti.
Vasudeva. And there are some other statements. So in Bhagavad Gita 14.3, so I was just reading. So here it is mentioned the total material substance is called Brahman, and Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that the Mahat Tattva is also referred to.
Mahat Brahma. Kasham Brahma Mahat Yunis. Yeah, Mahat Brahma.
That is also referred to as Brahman.
Brahman.
And sometimes when we say that impulses go to Brahman, so we particularly mention Brahma Jyoti. Only the spiritual, the spirit, Brahma Jyoti spirit. So sometimes this confusion comes actually where which entity to call Brahman.
Oh, it is simple. Like, see, Krishna is that Brahman, right? So when, no, just the simple example that Srila Prabhupada says that, no, you find that sun rays are here, so you tell that sun has come. So you never got into a very serious concern that, whether should I call sun rays as the sun or sun globe as the sun? Like, no, you never got into that kind of this one. So you always know that very right from childhood you have been using and this thing, and we have never came into some kind of a philosophical fix or something like that. So like Krishna is like that fire, and then the material energy, the living entity, the spiritual energy, all of them are like heat and light, the energies of the fire. So sometimes the energy is also called as the fire. The heat and light is also called as sometimes fire. So to the extent that we call that light jalado and things like that and all. This one. So that is that to that casual usage it has come. So in the same way, this is also like that only. So when you separate some energy of Krishna from Krishna, so then that becomes proper material. So anything that is in connection with Krishna, that is Krishna only. Right? So that is that Brahman only. So, and nothing can be disconnected from Krishna. Only like you can imagine that something is not connected from Krishna. So that is material consciousness. Yes,
Shankaracharya is also mentioned that at the end, like Bhaj Govindam, but he is also that founder of Mayavadis, like the concepts of Mayavad. But at the end, like he is also mentioned like Bhaj Govindam. So
yes.
that contradictory is happening actually.
Not contradictory. No, he is actually very Vaishnavana Neta Shambhu. Lord Shiva is the greatest of all Vaishnavas. So that is there. So, like he's been given a particular task to propagate that philosophy because people are envious of Krishna is there and they also need a philosophy. So, like he came to give that philosophy. So, but then he told that Bhaja Govindam and things like that. So, somebody get some saner intelligence, like may they become devotee also. So, it is not contradictory. It is not contradictory. In fact, it is mentioned that. Now, I have not personally studied that Narsimha Karalama Stotra. So, one devotee was explaining in a class, he was mentioning that. So, Shankaracharya was telling that please forgive me, I have explained all the tattva in this way. It is an assigned seva. No, I just did that. But I don't mean to do that. Like that. So, something of that sort. So, he is actually a devotee. He is actually a proper devotee. But then he was given the task of propagating that philosophy, he did that. So that is an instruction given by Lord Vishnu himself.
So he is like that installed 4 dhams, most of the like Vishnu, like Jagannath Puri, Dwarika, and Badrikashram.
So now it's time also. Rantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Lord Bhaktavinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay. So, we have the good fortune of having a